Geronimo by Shepherd. You are listening to Insanity Radio 103.2 FM. I am White Shadow and I am back in the studio. I was not here last week. I was at home recovering from some kind of bubonic plague style kind of flu-y buggy virus thing. Some people might call it man flu, but it was definitely probably a man flu. I've got some amazing topics and conversations lined up this week, so I'm going to get it. I'm going to start setting things up ready for this show, but I'm going to throw on a few more tunes. Stick around to Insanity Radio 103.2 FM. I've got some amazing tunes too. If you have any song requests, tweet into the studio at Insanity Radio or email studio@insanityradio.com, and I will try to get them onto the system for the show. I'm going to be here for the next 2 hours. Sorry about that.
I sit and wait. There's an angel.
Murder on the Dance Floor by Sophie Ellis-Bextor. That's one I haven't heard for such a long time. Before that, we were listening to Angels by Robbie Williams. You're listening to Insanity Radio 103.2 FM. And I need to learn how to breathe between sentences. I am White Shadow, and I'm going to be joining you for the next hour and 45 minutes. And I heard some interesting news a little while back, because many, most, if not all of you know that Pound World kind of went out of business not very long ago. They went into administration, I believe. But a lot of their stores were sold off as part of this administration, and Iceland have purchased 19 of these stores from the receivers. And August, that's what I remember now. It was August. Back in August this year, Pound World went into administration and Iceland purchased 19 of their stores, one of which just happened to be the Pound World store in Staines, in Middlesex. So they haven't. They've from what I've heard, they've submitted 3 planning applications in total, one of which was to change some of the doors around on the front of the setting. But we might be getting, but the bottom line is we might be getting an Iceland store in Staines, which it's kind of surprising that it hasn't happened already, because Staines is quite a big shopping centre, and it's one of the very few big shopping centres that don't have an Iceland store. But this gap may very well be filled, assuming the applications, the planning applications, are successful. Assuming the local council are happy to be doing that, we could be getting an Iceland store in Staines. Right in the middle of the shopping centre too, not on the outskirts, because we've got Sainsbury's in Staines on the outskirts, and we've got Marks and Spencer's in the Elmsway Centre, but on the actual high street itself, on the outsides of Staines, there is no significant shopping centre, because a supermarket rather, because Waitrose went not very long ago as well. There was a Waitrose in Staines which has also closed down recently for reasons that I don't know about. But I'm going to stop rambling now. Let's just throw on a few more tunes, because we need something cheery for this sunny afternoon. Haha. Come As You Are by Nirvana. Before that, we were listening to Sunny Afternoon by the Kinks and House of the Rising Sun by the Animals. You're listening to Insanity Radio 103.2 FM. I'm White Shadow, and I'm going to try to slow down a bit, because I am speaking so fast that I'm literally speaking faster than I can think, which isn't difficult to do, surprisingly. You're listening to Insanity Radio 103.2 FM. Something I was reading into a while back on the topic of Amazon. Now, Amazon are a company that seems to be getting a lot of media attention at the moment. They've been getting involved in a lot of things that are kind of controversial. But one thing people really can't deny at the moment is they seem to be leading the way in a world of innovation. They started off as something as simple as an online bookstore, and they've moved on to cover so many different other fields, and they're still continuing to expand. And one of the things they've started trialing and introducing at the moment is cashier-free stores. In theory, one day waiting in line at the nearest supermarket could soon become a thing of the past, because in January 2018 the company opened its first cashierless Amazon Go convenience store in Seattle. The just walk out stores are fitted with sensors and cameras, and they use deep learning algorithms with other state-of-the-art technologies to monitor customers' purchases, which are relayed to an app and then charged to the relevant Amazon Prime account. In addition to expanding the chain of Amazon Go convenience stores in the US, Amazon, via its sort of web services Okay, yes, let's start again. Amazon are partnering with Hyundai in South Korea to create the planet's first ever cashier-free department store. Now, there's definitely a future to be had there, but if my main question at this point in time is, if stores start to become cashierless stores in the future, will there be any room left for staff to actual employment, actual jobs for people? I'm pretty sure the retail on a high street is, besides administration, one of the biggest industries where staff are still actually required these days. So, I mean, it's definitely an idea. I don't know. I would love to get your thoughts on this. If you have any opinions on this, please do tweet into the studio at Insanity Radio, because my thoughts are definitely my own, but I do not like the idea that you could start. I mean, I don't know, it's such a tricky one. There are occasions when I don't want to be talking to other members of the human race, but there's no denying the fact that being in touch with other members of the human race kind of keep us human, and being able to go into the store and ask somebody how they're doing while you're paying for your goods and that kind of thing is something that it makes a difference to your day. And there's just so many implications, so many ifs and buts to the whole sort of cashier-free stores thing, that it's kind of it's scary. But on top of that, Amazon are also sort of making a lot of legway. In April, Bloomberg revealed that Amazon is working on a top secret project that could really shake a lot of things up. There's next generation smart robot for the home that will be powered by artificial intelligence. Lab 126 have reportedly been working on the project for a number of years now, and it's said to be nearing the final stages. They're called Vesta robots, and these Vesta robots will be deployed to the homes of selected Lab 126 staff at the end of the year for testing. And if it all goes to plan and the final trial stages are deemed a success, Vesta could very well be zipping around people's homes as early as next year, possibly 2020 at a push. And now, I know domestic robots are nothing new. We've seen the automated vacuum cleaner thingy-majiggies that just will stroll. I know all that kind of stuff is already there, but Vesta is expected to boast the latest artificial intelligence, camera, sensor, and all sorts of other futuristic technologies, and may be able to do everything from simple household chores like vacuuming to even complex problem-solving stuff, and kind of fill in as a sort of a artificial intelligent companionship. That's another one that opens so many conversations. But the retail cost could make all the difference, because if it's something that's going to be crazy expensive, not many people are going to be diving into it. Not many people will be able to afford to or show too much interest in it. But from my experiences, Amazon tends to find a way of delivering things pretty cheap. So if Amazon's reputation of providing low prices continues to the Vesta, it's more likely to be affordable to the household and could end up selling by the truckload. It's one of those things. There's a lot of conversation to be had, and I'm here on my own, so I can't really bounce ideas off myself right now. But I would love to hear what you think. So tweet into the studio at Insanity Radio. I will definitely be bringing these topics up in the future with other guests on the show. But I would love to hear your opinions too. If you have any song requests, tweet them in. Let me know. Otherwise, I'm just going to have to assume that you're enjoying the music I have lined up. So stick around to Insanity Radio 103.2 FM.
Cheer. Rihanna. Good girl going bad. Take 3. Action. Ho. No clouds in my stone.
How You Remind Me by Nickelback. Before that, we had Umbrella by Rihanna featuring Jay-Z, and Happier by Marshmello featuring Bastille. You're listening to Insanity Radio 103.2 FM. I am White Shadow, and earlier in the show I was talking about Amazon and how they're trying to lead the way with modern technological evolutions, I guess. And another thing that they're starting to roll out at the moment, something that they're experimenting with, is fleets of delivery drones. They're well on their way to rolling out this service, which could be delivering packages weighing up to £5 within just 30 minutes of being ordered using these miniature drones. In December 2016, the first Amazon Prime Air package was delivered at breakneck speeds in Cambridge, in the UK, and Amazon has built a Prime Air fulfillment hub near Cambridge, and they're testing drones in the surrounding countryside probably as we speak, or as I speak and you listen, I guess, or not, as the case may be. I may have as many as one listener today. Now, getting the service off the ground will obviously depend on regulators, because things are still kind of pretty strict in the world of drones flying through the airways. Right now, the US regulations state that the drone must remain within the pilot's line of sight, but it has started to issue waivers under certain circumstances, which Amazon is hoping will be a sign of things to come. But there's a very good reason why they're being tested and developed in the UK rather than the US right now, and that's because the service is poised to launch in Britain first. The country's National Air Traffic Control Service is a lot more enthusiastic about the technology than the FAA. We're kind of relaxing that beyond the line of sight rule, which means Amazon's drone deliveries could be getting the green light in the UK as soon as next year. I mean, whether the service actually gets going in 2019 I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. But another thing that they're planning, another thing that Amazon are starting to work on at the moment is, as they call it, innovative healthcare. Amazon could end up being the next big name in the world of healthcare with what's described as a trailblazing. I'm just going to throw on a few more tunes because I'm losing mental capacity right now. I'm incapable of thinking or stringing a coherent sentence together. So I'm just going to throw on a few more tunes, and I'll get back to this after the break. Stick around.
I've been waiting for you.
I Miss You by Blink-182. Before that, we had Hold My Girl by George Ezra, and Please Don't Stop the Rain by James Morrison. You're listening to Insanity Radio 103.2 FM. I am White Shadow, and I'm going to move away from the topic of Amazon for a while, because today is the 11th of November 2018, which means there are 51 days left until the end of the year, and just 44 days left until Christmas. Ho ho ho! Merry Christmas! Ho ho ho! Oh, well, I've missed doing that. I have missed doing that. But also today, the 11th of the 11th, is Remembrance Day. So we took part in the 2 minutes of silence earlier in the day. It's 11 o'clock. Patrick Austin and the rest of Insanity Radio partook in the 2 minutes of silence to remember those who lost their lives during the First World War and those who fought so hard for the freedom of this country, which is awesome. And going back in time, back in 1918 on this day, was the Allies and Germany coming into effect with the signed armistice this. This is where I realise I don't even know how to pronounce this word anymore, which is not good. The World War I hostilities ended at 11 a.m., the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month, back in 1918 on this very day. In 1920, the burials of unknown soldiers took place simultaneously in Westminster Abbey, London, and the Arc de Triomphe in Paris. In 1923, on this day, the eternal flame was lit for a tomb of an unknown soldier at the Arc de Triomphe. And in 1925, moving on to music a little bit more now, 1925, Louis Armstrong and his Hot 5 record began their first. I'm gonna string a coherent sentence together today. I am honest, I promise you. It's gonna happen. Louis Armstrong and his Hot 5 record began their first recording session in the studio. In 1925, also on this day, Robert A. Millikan announced his discovery of cosmic rays. In 1930, on this day, a patent was awarded to Albert Einstein for an invention called the Einstein refrigerator. In 1969, the Beatles with Billy Preston released Get Back in the UK. In 1983, the first US cruise missiles arrived in Great Britain. 1987, on this day, Van Gogh's irises sold for a record $53.6 million at auction. And in 1994, on this day, Bill Gates bought Leonardo da Vinci's Codex for $30.8 million US. And in 2008, on this day, Taylor Swift released her second studio album, Fearless. Again, moving on to the world of music once again, the number one song in the UK on November the 11th, 2013, 5 years ago today, was Look Right Through by Storm Queen. The number one song in the UK on November 11th, 2008, 10 years ago, was Hero by the X Factor finalists. Number one song in the UK 15 years ago, 2003, was Slow by Kylie Minogue. And the number one song in the UK all the way back in 1998, 20 years ago, was Believe by Cher. And of course, 25 years ago, the number one song in the UK was still I'd Do Anything for Love by Meatloaf, which is still a classic that gets listened to so many times 25 years later. Today we have some awareness weeks starting from tomorrow onwards. We have the Financial Capability Week, we have the Anti-Bullying Week, we have the Sugar Awareness Week, and of course some may see this as one of the more significant ones for this week, but Anti-Bullying Week is definitely up there. Self-Care Week is an annual national awareness week that focuses on embedding support for self-care across communities, families and generations. And this year's, as they describe it, the strap line is Choosing Self-Care for Life. Organisations have been encouraged to use Self-Care Week as a hook to help people choose self-care for a healthier, happier life. Self-care is something that's been brought up quite a lot in the media over the past couple of years, and it's becoming more and more important and significant to help people get away from sort of stressful situations and to help look after themselves a little more. And just, next week is going to be an opportunity to learn a lot more about self-care and what you can do to look after yourself and improve your own life circumstances. On that note, I'm going to throw on a few more tunes, some of the ones that were number one songs in the UK over the past 25 years. So stick around to Insanity Radio 103.2 FM. I did it!
Knew you'd be here tonight, so I put my best dress on, boy, I was so right.
But I won't do
I'd Do Anything for Love by Meatloaf. Such a smooth ending. Before that, we were listening to Slow by Kylie Minogue and Believe by Cher, three of the tracks that were number ones throughout the last 25 years on this day. You're listening to Insanity Radio 103.2 FM. I am White Shadow, and I've got another interesting, this might be a short conversation, but I have got another interesting thing. So recently, the Harry Potter... I couldn't have been further from where I wanted to be with that one. Beatrix Potter, the 50p coins with The 50p coins with the Beatrix Potter characters on them have been doing exceptionally well over the past year, with people collecting them and selling them for a lot more than the 50p face value. And the UK Royal Mint have decided they're going to try something slightly different. Once again, they've released a special edition 50p to release the mark of 40 years of The Snowman by Raymond Briggs. Raymond Briggs. See, the first time I get a word right, and I doubt myself. Raymond Briggs The Snowman is marking 40 years celebration, and the Royal Mint are doing this with a special edition of 50p. There are a limited number of these as usual. They're an entire 15,000. They say only 15,000, but I still think that 15,000 is a lot of 50p coins to commemorate 40 years of the Snowman. So Beatrix Potter and Paddington collections have been incredibly popular with collectors. So I'm interested to see where the Snowman one may or may not go. At the moment, you can buy them from royalmint.com for £10. Now I almost want to grumble about this, because once upon a time last year I went to buy a limited edition coin from the royalmint.com, and they said it's only £5, I believe it was. And when I went to purchase this £5 coin, I was greeted by what felt like about 20 minutes of additional offers and add-ons and things, and so you could have the collector's case, the collector's this also this other coin, this silver version of this gold version of that version. You could have the book, the poster, the certificate of authentication, the this and that and the other. By the end of it, you could potentially be spending thousands and thousands and thousands of pounds for all of the things available to purchase alongside. But you do not have to do that. If you persevere with their very complicated website, you can actually end up with just the coin itself for £10. But check it out, have a look at it. I'm going to throw on a few more tunes. We have The Cave by Mumford & Sons, because I haven't heard this for a while and I'm still trying to work out if I like it or not. So hopefully by the end of this, I will know once and for all if I like The Cave by Mumford & Sons. Stick around to Insanity Radio 103.2 FM.